Yeah, right.
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. Now that we're back, we're also back to fulfilling your video topic requests. Big shout out to the Patreon gangs. Salute! Naturally, we'll be prioritizing your requests. This video topic request comes from Patreon gang member Mr. Morales. Salute! This is his message. It just occurred to me, how about a highlight of Steve Urkel, Laura Winslow's relationship, with a focus on men Laura was dating, and them having to deal with Urkel being an orbiter disrespecting the relationship. Mr. Morales, thank you for your message. Salute! This is a great opportunity to make a video about Steve Urkel and Stefan Urquelle's relationship with Laura Winslow. Now, before we get into this, let's give you a little background information about Family Matters. Family Matters is an American television sitcom that debuted on September 22, 1989, and concluded on July 17, 1998. With a total of 215 episodes spanning 9 seasons, this spin-off of Perfect Strangers revolves around the Winslow family, an African-American middle-class family residing in Chicago, Illinois. Midway through the first season, the show introduced the Winslow's nerdy neighbor, Steve Urkel, played by Jaleel White. Originally scripted as a one-time character, Urkel quickly became the show's breakout character and eventually joined the main cast. For this video presentation, we're revisiting a pivotal moment from 30 years ago, Season 5, Episode 8, titled Dr. Urkel and Mr. Cool, a clever reference to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This episode explores valuable lessons about the universal attractions and turn-offs for women and men. We'll break down this video into 5 chapters. The Unwanted Steve, expressing a desire for change by complaining. Stefan Urquelle's Allure, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, and the deeper lessons. Disclaimer, this happened to our Everybody Hates Chris video. Special shout out to the Patreon gang, because that video is no longer visible on YouTube. This Steve Urkel video contains copyrighted footage, so we will be freezing it frequently to prevent copyright infringement. The original video will be available on Patreon. If you enjoy our content and want the full experience, consider supporting us on Patreon. We men and we. Yeah. We men and we. Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I'm so very sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
A while back, we made a video about Superman and explored why women prefer Superman over Clark Kent. Steve Urkel exhibits many features similar to Clark Kent, leading to Lois Lane not being attracted to him. The same principle applies to Laura's lack of attraction to Steve Urkel.
The Daily Planet has a condition.
Sorry.
Steve Urkel is the quintessential nerd with his oversized glasses, suspenders, and a voice that could shatter glass.
Oh, Laura, my pet. Did I do that?
When you combine these traits with his quirky body language and clumsiness, it tends to turn off most women.
And clumsiness is only part of the problem. You're also annoying and socially inept.
Gee, you're just quite the cheerleader, aren't you?
Help me out here, Steve. Why are you the way you are?
Well, for the same reason you're gorgeous and Eddie is loaded with muscles. Bead-like strands of recombinant DNA called genes arranged along the 23 pairs of human chromosomes.
Right. But what happened to yours?
Genetics play a role here, and I'd like to highlight this aspect because what Steve Urkel said holds true. Genetics are beyond our control, and some individuals are blessed winning the genetic lottery, so to speak. This brings me to Steve Rogers, who was on the opposite side of the spectrum in terms of having a natural build for a soldier. Despite his courage and the right mentality to be the best soldier, genetics gave him a body that was initially tiny and weak. Keep this in mind because Laura is about to make an interesting point.
Steve, is there anything you can do to change yourself?
Well, why? I like myself. I'm comfortable with me.
Well, that makes one of us. 'Cause I'm not comfortable with you. I've got 3 flavors of milkshake dripping down my leg. Steve, it would be nice if you tried to change. And it would be even nicer if you did it soon.
Change. This is where I'll dive into the harsh truth about women in general when it comes to change. Buckle up for the next chapter.
Steve, is that stuff safe?
Who knows?
Steve.
Tired of Steve Urkel, were you? Wanted someone better, did you? Someone cool.
The truth about women is that they are never satisfied. A significant reason for this lies in their emotional nature. Emotions fluctuate. One doesn't feel the same every day, and these variations lead to a desire for different experiences, a yearning for improvement. When coupled with societal pressures that bombard women with notions of better and more, psychological studies show that once someone has tasted better or more, reverting to less or worse can lead to depression and other mental health issues to which women are more susceptible.
Today, we are talking about body image. We told you just a few moments ago that the impact of social media on mental health can be devastating, but it can also cause and perpetuate body image issues affecting eating behaviors, sleep quality, social comparison, and low self-esteem, especially among adolescent girls. And the facts really are startling. According to a study by Front Psychiatry, did you know approximately 50% of pre-adolescent girls and 30% of boys dislike their bodies, and around 60% of adult women and 40% of adult men have a negative body image.
It's not inherently problematic for women to want more from men or seek better partners. The issues arise when women express their desire for change with expectations that are unrealistic and solely through complaining.
What can men do leaving here? Be better. Be better at everything.
Laura, for instance, desires Steve Urkel to be better, but she never actively helps him improve. The reluctance to collaborate in the improvement process is, unfortunately, a common turnoff for women. This dynamic is mirrored in the reverse scenario as depicted in this clip.
Sweetums, we have a small snafu.
What?
Well, the machine is busted. But the evening's still young. So what do you say we get back to those lip push-ups?
No. No!
Wait, Marv, what's the matter? Why are you leaving?
I can't talk now, Steve.
I know things look bleak right now, but we can work this out.
I must be cursed. I finally find the perfect guy, handsome, cool, and caring. I give him my heart, and what does he do? He leaves me.
No, but as God is my witness, I will not rest until Stefan Urquelle is back. Forever!
Even though Laura is aware that Stefan is a transformed version of Steve, she shows no interest in assisting Steve in reverting to Stefan after the elixir stops working. Without hesitation, she exits the situation. This bitter reality resonates with many men, including examples like NBA players as seen in this clip.
Right? You know, now we talking to a girl who now looking at us like we ain't shit no more. Right? Shit, you ain't got no games today, watch these kids. Who you think you talking to? You better look at my resume. Well, that resume is old now. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, most of our problems come when we're done because, you know, we have to try to reinvent ourselves from the person we was since we was little.
That's real shit. Facts.
Without trust, there can be no loyalty. And without loyalty, there can be no true growth. In modern society, it's evident that decisions for women to divorce or leave their partners are often emotional. Research aligns with the idea that shared survival and common purpose contribute significantly to the longevity of relationships. For instance, a married woman might think twice about divorcing her husband if it means potential homelessness. The decision-making process often involves weighing common purposes, and men are increasingly frustrated and tired of losing everything due to the unpredictable and emotional decisions of their partners. This clip provides insight into the challenges faced when emotional decisions overshadow rational ones.
I never thought I'd say this in a million years, but...
But what?
I miss Steve Urkel.
Why?
Because he had feelings. He cared about people. Face it, Stefan, numero uno on your list is you.
Can you blame me?
Yes.
Look at me. I'm incredible. Good looking, charming, suave, and cool.
That's it. I want Steve back. Yeah, but unfortunately, he was also self-centered and shallow.
What if Steve could fix that?
Huh?
Why don't you ask Steve to make a new, improved Stefan?
How dare you, Max?
What?
I am not so hard up for a guy that I would crawl over to Steve Urkel and beg him to bring back Stefan. Please, Steve! Please bring back Stefan! Pretty please. Was sugar on top?
Allure, I'm confused. When I was Stefan, you begged me to change back into Steve Urkel.
Well, that's true, but that's because Stefan was shallow and insincere, but couldn't you create a better Stefan?
Be better.
Many women make impulsive decisions only to regret them later, realizing that men like Stefan Urquelle are not easily replaced. This brings us to the next chapter.
Stefan?
That's right, baby. I'm back, and you've got me.
The beauty of good movies and TV shows lies in their ability to portray a spectrum of emotions and qualities, from what is scary, comforting, ugly, pretty, funny, to stupid, and in this case, attractive. Attraction is not a choice, and that's what makes it universal. Let's take a look at this clip.
This elixir will improve my coordination, my posture, my vocal intonation, and I might even sprout a chest hair or two.
Now compare that with this iconic scene from Superman.
Fix my hair and some blush on
Lois, there's something I have to tell you. I'm really... I was, at first, really nervous about tonight. But then I decided, well, Darn it, I was going to show you the time of your life.
That's Clark, nice.
I was thinking maybe we could go for a hamburger or whatever.
This classic moment illustrates how a simple transformation, like removing nerdy glasses, changing posture, lowering one's voice, and speaking a bit slower, can significantly alter how people interpret or perceive an individual. Let's take it a step further.
Please, party on, party on.
In our previous video about Nora Vincent's experiment, we touched on the saying, clothes don't make the man. However, they can certainly make the man look great. Moreover, clothes convey a lot about a person, which is why uniforms exist. Steve Urkel embodies the quintessential nerd, and for his character to work, he needs to look the part. The same principle applies to Stefan Urquelle, who appears in sharp 90s fashion. He looks fantastic. Now let's take it another step further.
Baby, you are worth another trip.
Confidence, the quality of being certain of your abilities or having trust in people, plans, or the future. For women, confidence is often at the top of the list, if not, definitely in the top 3. Good leaders exude confidence, and women desire men who can lead. Even in modern society where women advocate for that equality foolishness, they still expect a man to treat them specially. Special is not synonymous with equal, and due to women's hypergamous nature, they tend to date up, marry up. Check this out.
Where is he? I don't see him! Where is Stefan Urquelle? Relax, KC, he isn't here yet. How's my hair? It's fine. Fine? It's just fine? For Stefan, it's gotta be perfect!
Stefan was more than all right. He was gorgeous, cool, and ooh, hurt me sexy.
It's crucial for women that other women find the man of interest attractive. This is why we emphasize high status men, high value men. It's pure gold that an episode from 30 years ago highlights all the essential elements that make a man attractive, proving that this information isn't new. It has been around for ages. Today, in the age of information and advanced technology, accessing this information is as simple as pushing a button. The good news is, guys, you can work on these aspects: posture, body language, voice intonation, clothing style, confidence, and yes, even status and reputation. Now, let's explore some of the challenges.
How'd you feel?
Taller.
Genetics, once again, it's pure gold. How Steve Rogers becomes taller after taking the super soldier serum. Agent Carter cared about Steve, but in real life, she would never have dated him if he remained shorter. Remember this clip?
What would it take to get a date for Stu at just 5 feet? First, we made him an up-and-coming actor.
No.
Not.
Then we said Stu had made millions by age 25.
No.
Not for me.
Nothing worked.
How come nobody picked Stu? He's too short. He's too short. Too short?
We asked if there was anything we could add to make Stu irresistible.
Maybe the only thing you could say is that the other 4 are murderers.
Right, or convicted of some crime. That would definitely. Child molesters.
Or psychotic.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we would say,
oh, okay.
Hello, Stu. Right. I mean, and nothing bad towards him. He's got a nice smile. He's cute.
But no takers.
Height cannot be taught. You can't go to the gym, lift weights, and grow taller. However, there are limb lengthening surgeries that can increase your height. Exercise due diligence by doing in-depth research before considering such practices, guys. Taking into account the associated risks and costs. The same principle applies to facial looks. All the Avengers are good-looking men. You cannot be an Avenger without looking good. It's in the contract. Good-looking people enjoy certain privileges. In the movie industry, it's all about making money. The combined earnings of these movies reached almost 30 billion. That's with a B, making it the highest grossing superhero film franchise and series. Looks matter. With online dating becoming the norm, data from these apps indicate that women find only 20% of men attractive, and it might be even less. So if you're not a Chad or a Tyrone, it's best to stay off of these dating apps.
Laura, I've been Stefan Urquelle for a week, and I've got all the things I've always wanted: friends, fame, and popularity. But if I don't have you, I have nothing.
Unfortunately, this line didn't age well, considering we're looking at an episode that aired 30 years ago. No signs of smartphones, no signs of social media, and the name of the show is Family Matters. People related with families. That's why advertisements, movies, sitcoms, etc. were directed at families. Family was important, and having a family one day was the ambition. Fast forward 30 years later, and we're dealing with the lowest birth rate since documented in the 1800s. Society has become extremely individualistic, and having children is not the priority of the modern woman. Data shows that women are having children later in life, yet there remains a natural desire for men and women to come together, which has the foundation of romance. Look at the definitions of romance. Janice, read.
A close, usually short relationship of love between two people. The feelings and behavior of two people who are in a loving and sexual relationship with each other.
Romance was never the foundation of traditional relationships. That's why relationships lasted longer in the past. Now, let's go back to Stefan Urquelle's quote, "If I don't have you, I have nothing." So if he does have her, Laura in this case, what does he gain that is worth sacrificing everything that he has gained as Stefan Urquelle?
Steve, I know you're busy, but I really like Stefan. And if you bring him back, I'd be his girlfriend.
But I'd be Stefan, so really you'd be my girlfriend, right?
Right. And isn't that what you've always wanted?
Having Laura as his girlfriend is everything he always wanted. It's worth sacrificing everything he has, including his life for. Now, what does Steve gain by having Laura as his girlfriend? We've highlighted that Laura doesn't help him become the man she wants him to be, indicating that she is not a helpmeet. Besides that, she leaves him the moment he turns back to Steve after his elixir wears off, indicating that she is not loyal and not appreciative of the hard work it takes to become a man of excellence. And to take it a step further, she wanted Stefan to turn back to Steve because he wasn't perfect.
I never thought I'd say this in a million years, but...
But what?
I miss Steve Urkel.
This is after a week of being Stefan Urquelle, indicating that if things are not going the way she wants them to go, she's looking for a replacement. Probably already has one. Fast forward 30 years later, and we're dealing with over 50% single adults. Let's read some data from the Pew Research Center. Janice, read.
As of 2022, Pew Research Center found 30% of U.S. adults are neither married, living with a partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship. Nearly half of all young adults are single, 34% of women and a whopping 63% of men. Not surprisingly, the decline in relationships marches astride with a decline in sex. The share of sexually active Americans stands at a 30-year low. Around 30% of young men reported in 2019 that they had no sex in the past year, compared to about 20% of young women. Only half of single men are actively seeking relationships or even casual dates, according to Pew. That figure is declining.
Young men have drawn the conclusion that the juice ain't worth the squeeze. all this effort for a girlfriend who's not willing to help you become the best man you can be, who's not loyal, who has unrealistic expectations of what a man is supposed to be, who has no problems having sexual relationships without being in a committed relationship, which is supposed to be one of the perks of having a girlfriend, and has no interest in building a family, particularly at a young age. It's interesting to see how change in society impacts the behavior of people. Let's go to the next chapter, the deeper lessons. A man can reinvent himself if he understands his value. It's not the woman that makes the man. Iron sharpens iron. However, a woman can inspire a man to become a better version of himself. Therefore, engaging with the opposite sex should be done with caution and utmost discipline. Take a look at what's happening to Vince McMahon, a man who's been at the mountaintop, and his fall is attributed to his dealings with a woman. His legacy that took decades to build will always be tainted by the foolishness he chose to engage in. Let's see what happens when the lawsuit is over. He's not the first man, and he won't be the last to face trouble because of interactions with the opposite sex. Control your urges and stop thinking with your little head. Only add a woman to your life with a specific purpose in mind. Remember, she is a helpmeet. She's supposed to help you and be a valuable asset to your life. Personally, for me, it was family. Hence, I knew I needed to find a woman who is family-oriented and part of a culture that values family. This led me to take my talents overseas early. Go where you are appreciated. Play this game to win and define what's considered a win for you. What works for me doesn't have to work for you. Last but not least, we're not going backwards, brothers. Even though it might feel like that sometimes because we're focused on that dating foolishness. It's not what's happening. You shouldn't look at it like that. What's occurring is the law of cause and effect. Society is forever changing, and human beings respond to these changes. Evolution has always been our destiny. It's not a coincidence that the ways of the past are no longer effective in modern times. Therefore, I need you to let go. I need you to recalibrate. Go monk mode for 30 days and find out what's important to you. Make sure you write things down. Read books that can take you to the next level, because this world has options. We're not in charge of the hand we've been dealt, but that doesn't mean we can't make the most of it. This doesn't mean the only choice we have is to roll over and die. I want you to play this game to win, because we meant it. Patreon supporters, salute! Man, that's where we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.